Good evening, everyone. Welcome to Hacktoberfest KIIT University presented by DSC KIIT, MSAC, and Mozilla KIIT in partnership with MayaData. We're all elated to have you here. We hope you learn a lot about open source and take back a huge bag of enthusiasm for contributing to open source. So, before moving ahead, what is Hacktoberfest? Hacktoberfest is a month-long celebration of open source with learners and contributors from all around the world and is organized and Mozilla KIIT in partnership. Okay, so let's start again with what is Hacktoberfest. I guess there were some network issues. So, Hacktoberfest is a month-long celebration of open source with learners and contributors from all around the world and is organized by DigitalOcean. This is the seventh edition of Hacktoberfest. It believes that whether you are a developer, a student learning to code, an event host, or a company of any size, you can help drive the growth of open source and make positive contributions to an ever growing community. Hacktoberfest encourages all backgrounds and skill levels to complete the challenge. So here we are today. Now, let's get started. So, as I named our partners before, they strongly believe in open source and actively engage in open source contribution. On that note, I welcome Junaid from DSC Club KIIT to talk about the contribution of DSC in open source.
Hello everyone, I'm Junaid. I'm a web developer at DSC KIIT. So, if we think about the core idea of open source, it is very simple. It is the idea that you should make your code publicly available. So, there are various ways to do that. The most famous platform that everyone uses today is GitHub, and you, along with that, you use various licenses like MIT, Apache, BSD, and all that. But right now, open source has also become a cultural movement in software engineering because it encourages open collaboration and knowledge sharing. Anyone in any part of the world can contribute to almost any project if they think it is a good project and they can contribute and make it better. So the main mission of DSC here in KIT is to create a community of developers and among student developers. So we firmly believe in open source. Most of our projects are open source. We are available on GitHub. There is a GitHub organization named DSC KIIT. You can have a look at the projects we do on a regular basis. We constantly update our GitHub. The most famous project we have right now is Project Halide. It is an operating system, an experimental operating system written totally from scratch. At the moment, it has 41 stars and 11 forks, and we would love some community contributions on that. There are also various websites, our main website, and also the websites of various events that we host. We open source all of it. Also, some of the tutorials we do, the content of those tutorials is also open source, so you can tweak it and suggest recommendations. So I think that's all from my side about what we do at DSC KIT and what is our open source contribution. So yeah.
Thank you, Junaid. DSC is indeed very active when it comes to open source contribution. Now I would like to welcome Anshudi from MSAC to talk about the open source project MSAC is working on.
Hello everyone, I'm Anshudi, the head of Microsoft Student Ambassadors Community KIT. We are really glad to be partnering with DSC and Mozilla BBSR to organize the Hacktoberfest 2020. Now, as some of you would know that Microsoft Student Ambassadors Community is a relatively newer community in the KIT. It was started on 18th January this year. And since then, we have come a long way. Like on 18th January, we had organized our the first event, which was the recruitment come get together event. It was called the Genesis. Some of you might have attended too. So we had recruited teams to start building this community. So since then, like, we are continuously building up teams. We have held recruitment drives as well, as some of you would know, and we have done a lot of events since the 18th of January. But for this COVID-19, we would have done some live events, but since we are all sitting at home, we have come up with some work from home, like event from home types of things. Like the first event was concatenation, and the second event after concatenation, the lockdown had started, so we came up with new ideas to have events while you sit at home. So we came up with hackathon, like the quarantine hackathon. So it was really a good event. It was pan India event. So we are ever growing community. So after hackathon, our team came up with Code Vibe, which is a bi-monthly event organized every month. I mean, every 2 months. We had last organized it on September, and next it will be in the beginning of November sometime. We'll be dictating. Now, since the 18th of January, we have recruited, very exceptional team members. Like, we have exceptional team members, and my team and I work really hard to pull off events. And like you would remember in concatenation, Akash, one of our core members, had developed an app, developed a website, and Abhinav, one of our other core members, had developed an app to pull off an event. So, we live in a technological world, and using the tech to pull off something you ever wanted is an amazing feat to achieve. Now we have Om, who has been an active member in organizing Code Vibe, an active member of our team MSAC. He is even contributing in organizing the Hacktoberfest. He's from MayaData as well. So we have some fairly good team members who work really hard, and we are all on the same page to organize stuff. Now, coming on to open source now, like, we all know what an open source technology is, right? It can be it is technology used to provide security, to build a community, and for experimental purposes as well. Like, some of the very common open source technologies are Linux, Android, even WordPress, and even the latest Arogya Setu app, which you all might have heard about. It was the source code of Arogya Setu app was leaked on GitHub in order to check for the security flaws that it was presumed to have. So, open source is really an interesting place to develop your skills and to interact with other software builders or other, programmers, even cybersecurity coders. So to work on an open source project really gives you the confidence to learn and to explore things which are already there. I mean, in my opinion, it's the best live, experience you can achieve, right? So yeah, I hope you will be enjoying the Hacktoberfest 2020. Speaking of open source, we have our own project wing, which has started a few days ago. Like, if you have been following us on Instagram or Twitter or LinkedIn, you would know that we have started our own project wing, which deals with any project you can ever think of. Like, we have people to mentor you, we have people to work with you, we have people to work on your projects, like 24/7. So we have started the recruitment process. If you wish to join, you can contact any of our MSAC members. It will be really helpful to build up your resume or to as a minor or major project in third and fourth year. So it does not necessarily have to be a tech project. It can be like anything, even Photoshop. It can really be a Photoshop as well. So if you're interested in Android app development, or you're interested in machine learning or deep learning, like, we have all sorts of stuff in our project wing. So I would encourage you all to please contact our MSAC members for other assistance if you need. And if you have registered already, you will be contacted by our MSAC members. And one more thing before I go, we will be having we as in Microsoft Student Ambassadors Community Kit will be having our own Hacktoberfest this coming week. So please stay tuned, and we will be making the registrations live. You will get the updates. Please continue following our Instagram page. You will be getting the link in your chat as well to our Instagram page and our LinkedIn page as well. So stay tuned for that. So yeah, that's me signing off. I hope you'll enjoy. Bye. Have a good day.
Thank you, Anshudi. Your practical experiences and a lot of things about what MSAC does would be really helpful to all our participants. So thank you. And now I would like to welcome Prithvi Raj, who is a community manager at MayaData, to give insights on what exactly the event partner MayaData are as a company.
Thanks, Moshita. Thanks, everyone. It was a pleasure hearing from you, and I hope you all can see me. So my name is Prithvi Raj. I just joined in MayaData as the community manager for project LitmusChaos. I would not take a lot of time. I would just like to tell you what MayaData exactly is and why you should talk about it, or why you should think about it as a company you would want to join, or you would want to contribute to this Hacktoberfest, as we are sponsoring two CNCF sandbox projects, namely LitmusChaos and OpenEBS. So basically at MayaData, we work on containerization and we drive data agility. And as a team, we focus on the culture specifically. Our culture has four main segments. That is, it's named Plow. People. We are a people first company. We take care of people. We take care of what people want here. We are concerned about our developers, users, and community. Nextly, moving on to learning, we always emphasize on what we can learn from our competition, or what we can do as people who are working on various cloud native data management products, various products based on security services. So it's all about learning. We try to learn from others. We try to inculcate anything that is possible to learn. Nextly, talking about openness, we are always open. We are like, there's no biasness here. We are not like in the company, an intern also feels like he is, the boss here. So we extend everything. We share the everything with the community, and we are, as I mentioned, we drive two open source projects which we will be contributing to during this Hacktoberfest. And lastly, ownership. We embrace ownership along with a winning attitude, which completes the W in the plow. So we, like, each team member has to be that kind of a person who manages everything, and we win together. We are confident of our abilities and we win together. So moving on, this company, it started back in 2017, and its main emphasis has been on open source all this time. And the basic, like, we also have our SaaS solution, that's Kubera, which drives cloud native data management as well as security. And we have been having a very good relationship with KIIT. Myself being from KIIT itself, just got placed this year. I got to know about the relationship that MayaData as well as KIIT possesses, and that is why I would like to thank our chief guest for the evening, Sagar Patnaik sir, who helped us drive this event and who helped us take forward this event, partnering with 3 clubs. So we'll learn more about the projects that we are working on and that you guys can contribute to. We'll be sharing the links on the chat, so you can check out all the swags that are on offer. I would just like to talk about the swags that are on offer. So each contributor who contributes to either of the projects, that is OpenEBS or LitmusChaos, is eligible to get a limited edition t-shirt along with stickers. And along with that, for the top 3 contributors, we have got prizes as laptops, and the second prize is a mechanical keyboard, and the third prize is Apple AirPods. So make sure you contribute as much as possible, and you can start contributing from today itself. We'll be sharing the procedure and the process and how you can contribute along. Before we start off with the agenda, I would just like to invite Sagar Patnaik sir to share a few words and insights of what he believes this event can change. Thank you.
Thank you, Prithvi. Well, first of all, I'm really glad and happy to see all you guys here. I was expecting a bit more. It's 17 participants as of now. But yeah, nevertheless, jahan se shuru hota hai, we can make sure that we take it more forward. I would like to add only one thing. I'm really happy that you all are doing all this wonderful work. Guys, please understand what is industry level work. I mean, at today's date, if you actually see around India, there are crores of students who are studying engineering. What can make you stand away from them, stand different from them? That is what matters. Now, there's a very small difference. Nobody can teach you, neither can anyone spoon feed you with that. That's called interest. If you have interest in the technology you're working in, if you have interest in the technology you want to learn, you would automatically find a path. I mean, I'm sure a lot of you must be having really good hands-on with distributed computing, but I'd like to give a small insight on the same. Now, what happens is, imagine for a specific scenario in which, let's assume there's a building and 20 different families are staying. One family is very good with preparing desserts. Another family is really good with starters. Some family is really good with rice. Some family is really good with, and somehow or the other, what is happening is a particular family which is able to cook one particular dish is not able to cook anything else due to some reason, maybe time, maybe resources or anything. What can be done? If each family is assigned with the task of preparing that particular dish for the whole building, automatically problem solved. Take this as a metaphor for distributed computing. Take this as an example for the same. Doesn't matter how many problems you have, doesn't matter how many problems people are facing around the globe technically. When it is shared, when it is brought to an open platform, it is available to people who are interested, it would automatically solve. So my advice to you guys is keep practicing, be interested, and if you're stuck somewhere or if you have a doubt, please make sure that doubt comes to the open world, because maybe your doubt will get solved and at the same time people would come to get about something new because of your doubt. Yeah, all the best, guys. I am hoping for better participation for next time. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thanks a lot for all the words from your end. And we hope that everyone learns and starts contributing to open source as well. The world is changing and so is technology. And with open source, I believe the future is being driven, and we see a lot of cloud native projects coming in, the legacy and the monolithic systems changing. And so without any delay, I would like to invite our first speaker. And we have on the floor Sayan Mondal, who's a software development intern working in MayaData, focusing on the LitmusChaos project. And he'll be introducing open source, what is GitHub, how to use GitHub to all the folks out here. Thank you.
Hi, Prithvi. Thanks for the introduction. Let me share my screen and then I can go forward with the further presentation. Hi guys, I'm Shayan, and like Prithvi mentioned, I am a software developer intern at MayaData. My majority of the time I work on the LitmusChaos projects, and I believe Shomo is also in the agenda, and he'll be talking in details and much more about the LitmusChaos. But in this particular session, I'll be mostly focusing on open source, how you can contribute to it, what it is, and how you can basically get started very simply. I'm going to keep it simple, short, and sweet so that you don't get too overwhelmed with open source terms and terminologies, basically. So let's start with a fresh new introduction. So you already heard of a lot of what is open source and how you can contribute. But to keep it simple, open source, the word itself contains an open to it. So the word open means, let's assume you have a project, you make it open. So what happens is you have two options. Either you can keep it open and keep it private. In that sense, you are keeping it globally available, but none of them can see it. It's like your own Google Drive, let's say, where you're keeping your code, but in that sense you're only keeping your source code and nothing else in that drive folder. So you have your project, you are keeping it open, but it's not globally visible to everyone, but that's like your storage for your projects. Second thing is you're keeping it public and not private. In that sense, anyone, let's say I get in, like explore, while exploring I come across your project, I like the project and I fork it. So what forking is I'm making a duplicate copy of your project in my repository, in my profile. So what happens is it creates another duplicate repository of your same project where I can add some changes to it, make some changes, modify it, make it better or make it worse. That depends on the developer. So I can make some changes, and then once I'm satisfied with it, I'll send a PR, which is a pull request, to your repository, because that is the main repository where you had put your project on. So in that sense, I am a contributor. So what happened is I duplicated your version of your project. I modified it, made my own version, or added some features, and then I send it back to you. That way, if you liked it and you accepted the changes that I made, you have made one version up. You have just created a patch of your project, and now it's, let's say, 1.0.1. It was previously 1.0.0. So the point one, the patch that I just sent you, maybe that adds some more changes and makes your project better. That's how open source is so easy and so good to start with, because you, once you just set up your project in the open source world, you get so many different contributions. Some might be good, some might be not, but in that way, in that sense of contributing, your projects keep on getting better and better. That's why open source is amazing. Second thing is to contribute in open source. The famous platform that is currently available is GitHub, and GitHub is the platform where people generally store their projects. And to operate in GitHub, you can of course do it with the UI, but we generally prefer the GUI, the terminal, not the GUI. So to operate with GitHub, you would need Git, and Git is nothing else but a bash shell that you'll be getting. If you're already on Linux, you can directly use your own terminal. If you're on Windows, you can download Git bash, and that's how you can get started with a bash-like environment in Windows. Previously, I used to do that. Now I can generally do it in my Unix setup. So what happens with Git is Git gives you this shell, this environment, this window, where you can basically enter a few commands, and with the help of those commands, you control your project. By controlling, what I mean is, let's say you have this project. So I'm going to take example of Litmus. That way it'll be easier for everyone to understand. So let's say this is the project that I want to contribute to. So this is Litmus Chaos / Litmus. The name of the project is Litmus, and Litmus Chaos is the organization name. So let's say I want to contribute to this project. You get this sort of an option, which is you can either clone it, you can go to a certain file. Like, let's say if you're searching for a style file, and you don't have to clone it, download it, and then uh, go into your terminal. You can just directly do it with go to file. So if you go to file and you search for a certain file name that you just want to find, let's say styles.ts, then you'll get all the different styles.ts file inside of this particular repository. So this is like a shorthand method of if you want to search for specific things in the repository. That is one thing. You can either add file, and this is the where the GUI thing comes in, which I told, but generally we use the terminal. So if I want to contribute to this, here's a clone option, which you generally use when you are starting off with any project. With cloning, you just download a local copy of the project in your particular system, in your local system, so that you can code and make some changes through your locally available IDE, anything you use. If you use PyCharm, or if you use VS Code, or anything that you particularly like. So for those things specifically, you need to download the copy of the version that is globally available from GitHub. And once you make the changes, you need to push them back into this web 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 browser, basically this platform. And then from that platform, from your particular duplicated forked version, you send it to this version. So yeah, it's a lot of going back and forth, but let me give you a simpler example. So let's say this is the project that I want to contribute to. At the top right corner, you would see there's a button called fork. Once I click on fork, it will give you a few options. So if you are just not a member of any other organization, you can directly fork it in your profile. Or let's say you're a member of 5 or 6 other organizations where you have permissions to write, then you would get options of that as well. You can basically fork this Litmus project to any other organization as well, which you are a member of and you have write permissions. So let's just keep it simple, and I'm gonna fork this into my own personal profile, GitHub profile. If I do that, say Litmus, this is the forked version of Litmus that I have in my GitHub. So it's obviously defined. It's not my username /litmus, and this is forked from, this is the main branch. So this will generally happen when you start contributing. What this means is LitmusChaos /litmus is the main branch where you want to, a main repository where you want to publish your changes, and this is your local version, which is your username /litmus. Once this is done, what you have to do generally is go to code and then just copy this HTTPS link. You can also use an SSH, but it's easy both way. So you just copy over the HTTPS link. If you click on this, or if you do a control C, it both ways. After that, you need to go into your projects folder, which is here in my case, or wherever you want to save it to, and then you just need to open the terminal and do a git clone and then this link. And after that, if you just click enter, if you're on Linux, that will just be saved as whatever the name of the project is, which is Litmus in this case. But if you want to change it, you can give it anything like bad or whatever. So it'll just save as bad in your local system. Now I've already done it. So I already have a local version of Litmus here. And this is the content of the entire repository. Now let's say I change something. I change this particular license folder, not license. I change the README folder, and I want this change to be public, and I'm a contributor and I want this particular change, and I want to publish this change in the main Litmus organization. So once I do all the changes, what I need to do is I need to commit them. So committing is very easy. So you need to write git add dot, which what it does is it adds all the files that have been recently modified. So in that case, it's only readme, since you have modified only one file. It'll add all the necessary files that have been modified. Then I need to do a git commit and -s. This is extremely important in our case. We are signing our commit, and we have a DCO checker which actually checks if the commit is signed or not. If your commit is not signed, I'm very sorry, but we have a general policy that we do not merge commits that are not signed. So -s is the tag which you need to add, which just signs your commit. So what it will say is signed off by your email ID, nothing else. So this is a DCO check which we generally encourage everyone to do. So git commit -s and -m is the message that you want to do. So let me say just readme changes or something, because I have changed the readme. So readme changes, then if you hit enter, you'll have a Husky pre-commit checker. So what that is Husky is basically a software. It's an open source software which basically checks if all the necessary conditions have been passed or not. It checks for if you have run the testing, the tests are fine, if you have formatted your code, if the linting is fine or not. All these checks will be basically run behind. Everything will be done when you do the git commit by itself. Then once everything has been passed, you can just do a git push origin, whatever the name of your branch was. So let's say your branch was master, or let's say your branch was something ABC. It will be that branch. Now, generally, the best practice is once you have forked it, you can see the remote. If I do a remote check, you would see that I have origin, and this is what you will have as well. You'll have just two different origins. Now, the general best practice is you set an upstream. And what is upstream? Upstream is just a link to the main branch that you forked it from. So in this case, it's github.com/litmuschaos. And in my case, origin is my username. So what that helps in, let's say you have forked it, you're working on a certain feature, and let's say the main repo updates, let's say 2 or 3 commits or push like PRs get merged, and it just goes on updating. That way, when you send it, your PR will be saying that your repository is out of date from the main repository. Basically, you need to update your current repository to the one that the main repo is in. And so that's where the upstream helps a lot. So you just need to add git remote add upstream, and then the link to your upstream. Just like we did a SSH or HTTPS link copy, you need to copy the link of the main repository that you forked it from. And that's how you set an upstream. And then every time you want to make any changes, or like you're seeing that something has been updated, you just need to git fetch upstream, and you will see a lot of changes. Like I'm in master, I believe I can literally show you this one. I'm not. So let me check out the master. And if I do a git fetch upstream, I will see a ton of changes that has been happened in the Litmus project currently. So okay, so all the changes have been in master, as you can see. So these are the name of the different commit hashes that have been merged, the different PRs hashes that have been merged, and all the changes currently are in master. If different branches had been changed, it would be named accordingly. It will be upstream / something else. So if I want to merge it, I can just do git merge upstream / master. That way, all the changes that there have been updated in master would be merged to my local master, and that way I'm already always in sync with what's going on in the main repo. So that's a general, very general overview of GitHub and Git operations. Moving past that, so that's how you basically can start contributing. Now I'm going to talk about very cool places where you can just go ahead and check for labels and basically different issues or different repositories, easy repositories, language specific repositories where you would want to contribute, because Litmus is, I would say currently it checks for resilience. You need to have certain knowledge of Kubernetes, and you need to get accustomed to Litmus code. You need to get accustomed to that in order to jump in the backend side of it. But I'd say for front end, it's basically React, TypeScript, and those kind of stuff. So if you're into web development, you can easily jump in. Now, this is something which is really interesting. It's up for grabs, and I think you might have heard of it. If you heard of Hacktober, you might have heard of up for grabs, definitely, because it's very famous. And this is basically a website where you can search, where you can filter projects based on their name, label, tags. So let's say if I filter it by OpenEBS, there you go. So if I filter it by OpenEBS, you'll get one project, OpenEBS, and it has 10 good first issues, and these are the tags that are there. So it has Go, Rust, and you can basically check on the tags. You can even narrow it down by specific tags, like let's say JavaScript. If you remove the OpenEBS and if you just search via filtered via JavaScript tags, you get all the different repositories that are currently using JavaScript, and you can look around and check which are the particular repositories which are using JavaScript that are easy and that I can use and that I can contribute to. And definitely you need to basically get accustomed to the project before contributing. That is a rule number one. Apart from this, another thing that I absolutely love is this awesome Hacktoberfest repository, which is by Matt Jagan. This is one of my personal favorites because it has not just different projects, but it also filters it based on the different languages you use, and also it filters it by the labels. Also, it filters it by companies. So that's why if you go to the very bottom, you'll see that these are the companies participating, and you have MayaData, of course, and you have SendGrid and all the other companies. Gatsby is also there, DevFolio is there. If you come a little bit above, you'll see TypeScript, and there's LitmusChaos right there, right under TypeScript. You have, if you want to contribute only in React-based project, you have React, and you have all the different projects that use React. And you can filter it via issues. If you go to good first issues, good first label issues which are tagged with good first issues, you'll get 1,800 and probably more a few days later. And that's how basically you can categorize which is the particular project that you want to contribute to. One more thing about GitHub is, let me keep this fresh. And yeah, if you're in this homepage of GitHub and you see this top left search bar, you can basically do a good first issue search right up here. And let's just hit enter to all GitHub, and there you go. You have tons of good first issues right up here. These are 300 repositories. I'm going to switch this to issues, and that's how you get 1 million certain something issues that are having this good first issue label. So that's how you can basically filter, and you'll get this pagination where you can search for your particular interests. So you can also write the name of a language that you're interested in. I'm going to write Hacktoberfest for now and see what comes up, because I want to search it based on those Hacktoberfest labels. So I have 52,000 Hacktoberfest labeled issues, which is pretty good actually. And these are like this is the label name, and this is the repository. So it's code it, and this is the repository Hacktober. This is the username who has put up this repository, and this is the template, as you can see. So that's how you can basically narrow down your search and find things specific to your requirements. So like I personally like TypeScript a lot. So if I do TypeScript, if I search TypeScript and good first issue, I'll get things according to my own requirements. But I still prefer using something like this over that. But definitely, if your requirements are not fulfilled in this list, then you can definitely go on and check it there. Another one is awesome for beginners. This is also great for first time people who are just generally going into open source, not that heavily and like not that armed properly. So it's for them, so they can easily come and check out easy first PR opportunities. And this is the table of content where you can again sort it, filter it by the based on different uh, languages. So I want to use TypeScript. I'm going to go to TypeScript, and they have TypeScript, the main TypeScript project. You have TSLint, Reatom, and LitmusChaos. obviously, and then you can generally take a look at which labels they're using. So this is a beginner, this is having a beginner level, this is a Ruby based project, and that's how you can basically go back and forth and choose your own project. Because if you have a certain project in mind, that's great, but generally if you're like not having something in mind and you're just out there to explore, you definitely need to invest some time and check out these different repositories and see which repository or uh, which fits your particular requirement. So that's basically how I would say that I would personally use open source if I was a beginner just starting out. This is how I would use it. I'd go to Up for Grabs, I'd go to this awesome Hacktoberfest or awesome for beginners, and then check out the different things they have, the different projects they have. And if not, I'll go to this main homepage and check out for any requirements specific to me. Yeah, so that's mostly it.
Thanks, Ian. Thanks for all those insights on open source and the projects that all our viewers and all the students can contribute to. Next up, we have GD Shomo from MayaData as well. He's a software development intern working on LitmusChaos. And he'll be explaining you how you can contribute to LitmusChaos and what LitmusChaos exactly is. So Shomo, the floor is all yours.
Hi guys, hopefully I'm audible. Prithvi, I'm audible, right?
Yes, Shomo, you're audible.
Awesome. So hi guys, I'm Shomo, as Prithvi introduced me. I am an intern at MayaData, and I mostly work on backend aspect of things. I'm also a contributor at LitmusChaos, and right now I'm going to talk about how you all can start contributing to Litmus, right? So I'll be sharing some beginner-friendly issues that have already been created, especially for the Hacktoberfest, that you all can pick up and start working on. And also I'll talk about other ways you can contribute to making Litmus better. So before we jump into that, I'd like to give you a brief idea of what Litmus is, right? And how it is helping developers and SREs. So I think I'll share my screen. Hopefully my screen is visible. Okay. So Litmus, what is Litmus, right? So as Prithvi already mentioned, Litmus is a CNCF sandbox project, and the goal of Litmus is to provide a tool set to perform cloud native chaos engineering. So Litmus enables SREs and developers to orchestrate chaos on Kubernetes to help basically to help them find weaknesses in their deployments and measure the resiliency of the system. So I used a lot of jargons inside this description, right? So chaos engineering and resiliency and all that thing. So what is chaos engineering? That might be a question that you might be thinking right now. So chaos engineering is basically a discipline of experimenting on a software system in production in order to build confidence in the system's capability to withstand unexpected conditions, basically. So for the sake of understanding, right, we can consider chaos engineering as software testing. Right? So we write a program and then we test the program to check whether it is performing as intended, right? So let's say we write a program to add two numbers, right? And we check it, right? We provide two numbers and see whether the result is the addition of two numbers and not a subtraction or division, right? So that is what software testing is. Similarly, chaos engineering is almost the same, but at a larger scale. It not only just enables you to test the application itself, but also the deployment environment, the infrastructure being used, and a lot more. So it provides an overall coverage of the system that you are running your application in, right? So chaos engineering could include not just application level tests, but also like network outages, right? So chaos engineering will provide you the ability to uh, perform network outages on your systems, like Saga servers talking about distributed systems, right? So what happens if the network node goes down in the distributed system, or the network goes down, or something like that happens, right? So chaos engineering provides you the tools basically to test these scenarios at a larger scale, right? So I think we have a basic understanding of what Litmus is and what chaos engineering does. So I guess we can jump into the actual part of where we discuss about how you can contribute to Litmus right now. So I'll go over to the, okay, so also I'll share the links to these awesome blogs that you can read, and if you want to learn more about Litmus Chaos and chaos engineering as a whole. So I'll put them in the chat. If someone can share it, it would be great. Okay, I'll share that later on. So moving on to the Litmus Chaos repository. So you have already seen this in Shan's presentation, right? So this is our main repository where we are listing all the projects or parts of the projects that we are working on right now. So Litmus has many aspects to it, right? So we have the core Litmus, which has things like chaos operator, chaos exporter, chaos chart. So all these are related to the core part of experimenting, right? So running chaos experiments and doing those stuff. So if you want to contribute to these repositories, like projects, you can, but you'll need some idea of Kubernetes and chaos engineering. So it might be a little difficult for beginners. So moving on to the more favorable ones for beginners, that is, we also have our websites, right? So this was the website that I was showing while I was presenting my screen. So this website is our main Litmus Chaos website. So we have different websites like this. So we have our Litmus Chaos website, then we have the Chaos Hub, and we also have one more, basically, we call it Litmus Portal. So we also have this website called Litmus Portal that we're working on right now. So these are different websites that we are currently maintaining, and we have created different beginner-friendly issues on these projects, these repositories. So I'll show some of these issues that we have already created, and then I guess we'll talk about other possible ways of how you can work on or contribute to Litmus, basically. Awesome. Okay, awesome. So moving on to the issues. So this was one of the issues that we have. So this is the issues page of the Litmus repository right now, and we have some Hacktoberfest related issues here mentioned here. So if you go ahead and search for Hacktoberfest, you'll get a list of issues that have been created for this purpose. So you can pick one of these. I have already chosen some of the issues that you can take a look at. So this one is from the Litmus portal website. So basically you have to replace a basic component in Material UI. Okay, so I forgot to mention what tech stack we are using. So for the websites, all these websites that you see, we are using React. So this one is on React, and this one is on Gatsby, and this one is also on React. So most of you, I'm pretty sure that you have some experience with React. So it should be pretty easy for you guys to start off with these issues. So basically, we are using a Material UI component here. So we just need to replace a particular component here. So that was the issue, and some guys are working on this. As you can see, it has been posted about 19 days ago. So you guys can jump in here also, and you have to mention yourself. Like if you're going to work on this, you can tag the point of contact, that is Shine here. So you can tag the maintainer here, and then just say that, okay, I'm going to work on this, and you can start working on this one. Besides that, we also have other website related issues, like this one is also on Litmus portal, de facto CMO button on homepage, right? So basically you have to just change the component here, right here. As you can see, there's a screenshot also. So you're going to refactor this component and make it more modular or something like that. So these are some of the issues that are currently open, and if you want, we can search for other issues related, like easy would be also a good tag to search for. So if you search for that, you'll get easy issues that have been opened for the Hacktoberfest, and also we have good first issues that you can search similarly, and we have other repositories that I'll show. So this was a Litmus portal repository, basically. The main Litmus repository is actually having the Litmus portal website also inside it. So we also have our LitmusChaos website. So this website that you saw right now. So this one is built on Gatsby, as I mentioned. So you can also search for good first issues on this website and try to contribute to these. And similarly, we have our ChartHub repository also. So if you can go here and search for ChartHub, you'll find the repository. So you can just open this up and similarly go to issues and find the issues that you want to work on. So besides the issues that have already been created, right? So there are other ways you can actually contribute to the to these projects, right? So let's say you go to our Litmus website and you find a bug, like something happens, something is broken, right? So it doesn't work on a different screen resolution or maybe on a different screen size, right? So these are bugs, right? You can create your own issues, like you can just go ahead and create a new issue here or on the particular repo that is hosting this particular website, right? So if it is a Litmus portal issue, then you can create on the Litmus website. If it's a Litmus, actual Litmus website issue, you can go ahead and create it on our, okay, so it goes, basically it's a website slash website Litmus chaos. So you can create it there also. And similarly for hub.litmus, you can create it here. So if you find issues, you can create these issues and you can start working on those yourself. And some maintainer will come in and help you out if you have any issues regarding that. Also, you can connect with us on the Slack channels. We are on the Kubernetes Slack. If you just, we'll share the link. I think Prithvi has already shared the link, I guess. If he hasn't, we'll share it again. So you can join the Slack channel and talk to us directly. So if you need any help or assistance with any issues that you're working on or some PR that you have raised, so you can just contact us there also, and we'll guide you from there. I guess that was all from my side, Prithvi.
Thanks, Shomo. Thanks a lot for explaining everything that we can do with Litmus and how folks can contribute to Litmus chaos out here. Next up, we have Abhishek. Abhishek will be talking about how folks can contribute to OpenEBS. That's the sister project for Litmus, and what OpenEBS exactly is and what are the issues that students out here from KIIT can take up. So Abhishek, the floor is all yours.
Thank you, Prithvi. So, I'm a software developer intern at MayaData working on Kubera, which is a SaaS-based platform for managing OpenEBS. So, you all must be having one common question, which is how you can contribute to OpenEBS. That is an excellent question. So, before I answer that question, let me first give an overview of what OpenEBS exactly is. OpenEBS is a Kubernetes native container attached storage that simplifies running stateful workloads on Kubernetes. So as you can see, for working with OpenEBS, you must be familiar with Kubernetes. It is OpenEBS is built on microservices architecture patterns, fully automated and build pipelines. So OpenEBS is a proud member of CNCF. The key features of OpenEBS mainly contains container storage. It is a storage that follows your workloads, adding agility and flexibility to your KTS apps. It also provides granular control. Every workload has its own dynamic container-based storage with any controls you need. It also provides no vendor lock-in. That means it is 100% open source. You will never find your critical data locked into expensive contracts. OpenEBS also helps you save money on storage. Thin provisioning and ephemeral storage let you allocate storage on demand and spend less on cloud storage. OpenEBS can also provide backups and more. Move your workloads and storage from development to production, all powered by OpenEBS. Also, the most important feature of OpenEBS is that you can run it anywhere. Your KTS app can run on any cloud and improve resilience across many availability zones. Coming back to how you can contribute to OpenEBS, well, OpenEBS has several components that need your help, from simple fixes like adding GitHub issues templates to enhancing the components. These are developed using Go, Rust, Python, JavaScript, Ansible, and many more interesting tools. OpenEBS is also great ways to start your journey into the exciting world of storage, containers, and Kubernetes. You can start contributing by first viewing the architecture document, which is a good place to start learning and picking up a component that speaks to your passion. You could start your first contribution by enhancing that document itself for providing more clarity. There are many other good first issues to pick from. Contributions can be anything from creating issues, improving user and contributor documents, enhancing build and Docker tools, fixing and enhancing code, or other unit tests and E2E tests. If you are unsure where to begin a discussion with the contributors on GitHub discussions or by joining OpenEBS community on Kubernetes Slack. The links which should have been shared with you all on the YouTube live chat. So the steps which should be followed for contributing to OpenEBS. For that, I'll need to share my screen. I'll be sharing my screen. Is my screen visible?
Yes, Abhishek, yes.
So you can go to the OpenEBS GitHub repo, and there you can find that this contributing.md file, which contains all the rules and regulations and all the information regarding how you can contribute to OpenEBS. You can go through this documentation, which is a elaborative way of which will guide you how you can contribute. Secondly, you can go to the issues inside the GitHub repos, and there you can find various issues with the label Hacktoberfest, good first issues. The good first issues would be a good place to start with, as this is a complex project and itself built upon Kubernetes. So you must have a prior knowledge on Kubernetes before working with OpenEBS. So as you can see on the right hand side, it contains user documents, developers, examples, Go, Rust, website, and all. So you can first go along with the issues. You can find the best issues which matches your passion, and then you first need to claim it. How you can claim it? By commenting on that issue, like you have to, I want to work on it, and then a developer from the OpenEBS side will give you a green signal that you can work on it. After that, you can start working on it and raise a PR. Once the PR gets approved, that code your code can be merged into the OpenEBS repo. You can also join the OpenEBS development channel in the Kubernetes Slack for any further discussions or doubt or any queries related to OpenEBS. That's all from my side, and further you'll be learning more about the swags and exciting prizes which you can get by contributing to these projects.
Thanks a lot, Abhishek. Thank you for all the insights on OpenEBS. And as folks might have learned about all the 2 projects that we are working on. Before I conclude, I would just like to share the swags and prizes again on offer and how you can grab them over. So I'm just sharing my screen. So as you can see, one second. Yeah, so as you can see, we at MayaData are celebrating Hacktoberfest 2020, and no better place it could have been other than KIIT University to celebrate. And these are the 2 projects you can contribute to: OpenEBS and LitmusChaos. Take up good first issues and or any sort of issues that help you out. We are here along with DSC, MSAC, and Mozilla to help you out with any sort of issues. We have already got 300 registrations, and you can register in the given link below. The best PR submission gets a brand new laptop. Other prizes on grabs are the mechanical keyboard, NVMe drive, and Apple AirPods. Along with that, every contributor will get a special edition Hacktoberfest t-shirt. I would just like to share the rules on offer. One second. Yeah, so the rules, as you can see, you just have to create an account on GitHub. Most of you have done that. Register, you can register as an individual or as a team on the KIIT Hacktoberfest.netlify.app, and you can have a team of maximum 4 members, and you can also contribute in a team. So to contribute in a team, you just have to raise multiple PRs. It can be a minimum of 2 or as many as you want to. And as soon as you do that, you'll get your prizes delivered there. To grab the Hacktoberfest prizes, you just have to register on hacktoberfest.digitalocean.com. And for any queries, you can join us on Telegram or email us as well, email our team. And just do start the repos, the LitmusChaos as well as the OpenEBS repo, so that you get registered and take up any issues. The good first issues are there for you. Or there are various issues you can just take up. There are complex issues. There are issues where you can contribute real life experiments. So just start working on them. The fest goes on till the 31st, and after that we'll be announcing our winners. So feel free to reach us after this event. We'll be sharing the links of the YouTube live that we just had, along with all the necessary links over email. And thanks a lot, guys. Thanks a lot for joining us. See you next time around, and everyone take care. These are tough times. Thank you, everyone.